today I am basically going to talk about the 5 top tips to becoming productive in your business while working from home. That's the topic for today. But before I dive into the topic, I would love to know when you hop on, and I would also love to know where you're watching me from. So please feel free to go to the comment section and tell me where you're watching me from. Then again, if you're watching the replay, don't hesitate to type in replay in the comment section below. So guys, to start, I've been building my business from home for about 3 years now. So it just got me thinking. I was like, you know what? I have so much to say, because somehow I have been able to, I've managed to bring my kids up, build my business, be consistent in my business, and going on 3 years now. And I know that I've learned a lot. And I think I'm going to be doing a lot of Facebook Lives, trying to tell other people that maybe want to basically start a business from home. Basically what I'm trying to say, I'm going to be sharing tips, I'm going to be sharing ideas, and I'm going to be sharing things that I know that will help you. So today I'm basically going to give you 5 top tips, and I actually sat down and I thought about it and I made some notes. Hi Emeka, thanks for joining me. I sat down, I had a think, I thought about my life, I thought about what I go through, then I kind of like merged it with what I learn on a daily basis. And I came up with 5 top tips and I put them down on paper. So I'm going to go through these 5 tips, and my hope is that if you're in a position whereby you're struggling to be productive in business, because the reason I even thought of this topic is I know how challenging it can be. Hey, thanks for hopping on. I know how challenging it can be. I have 3 kids, Sometimes it's extremely challenging because the kids might be screaming. They want this. They want you to give them food. At the same time, you're looking at your time. You have to go for school run. At the same time, you have the laundry staring at you. At the same time, it can be like a moving train that never ends. So we have to pay attention. If you want to be truly productive, you have to be proactive instead of reactive. Because if you react to situations, you're never going to get anything done. But if you plan ahead, you stand a better chance to be productive. So my first tip for you is that you should know why you're doing what you're doing. So if you have a business now, you have a goal. But one of the most important things you have to realize is that you have to ask yourself, why are you even doing it in the first place? Why are you not working a 9 to 5? Or even if you're working a 9 to 5, why do you have a business? What made you make that decision? For some people, it can be they want the extra money. Some people might be like, they need the lifestyle. Some people might say they want the freedom, not to have a boss. For me, what made me make the decision, I wanted the flexibility, and I wanted to be there for my kids to watch them grow. So people have different whys. So the first thing you need to do is that you need to be clear on your why. Know why you're building that business. And the reason I say this is because it's not easy building a business. You're going to come across challenges along the line. And the only thing that will make you keep pushing through is when you remember why you actually started it. When you remember what your goal is. That's the only thing basically that will pull you through and push you through. But if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, it's very easy to slack. It's very easy to give up, and it's very easy to throw in the towel. So be clear on your why. That was the first stuff I wrote down. And the second thing I put down was, okay, you have to basically have clarity. Okay, that was my why. I said you have to have clarity on why you're doing what you're doing. So what you need to do, I had like bullet points that I pointed out after thinking. You have to write it down. Whatever your why is, write it down. See, I have little things hanging out around everywhere. Write it down, then make it visible. You have to make it visible. Put it somewhere where you can see it. So on those days that you feel that you don't want to get up from bed, on those days you feel like you just don't want to do an action step you need to do in order to achieve a result, you can easily see your why staring at you, and that can help you get up. And again, It's not just making it visible. As the days go by, as the years go by, you have to review your why, because one thing that is constant in life is change. Things change, situations change, circumstances change. Depending on what your why is, it probably might change. And the mistake I have seen a couple of people make is that their whys change, but they basically kind of like still focus on the why. Still focus on the initial why. Meanwhile, maybe that initial why has expired. It's now something else pulling them. I'll give you an example. Maybe the reason someone maybe started a business, someone can start a business to make money, to make, let's say, 1K, to make 5K, to make 10K a month. That might be the person's why. But along the line, 1 month down the line, 6 months down the line, that person has made 10K, that person has made 20K. So that person's why will definitely change, because if that person's why is like, I want to make 10K, that person has already achieved that. So attaching whatever action they are currently taking to that initial why, which they've already achieved, is going to be kind of like almost useless, because it can't push them. They have to redefine the why, basically. So that's my number 1 tip. My number 2 tip that I wrote down is that I need you have to understand that you need to be clear on what you want, your outcome. Why am I saying this? I know from experience how crazy it can get. It can get so crazy with the kids and with everything I have to do at home, that if I am not clear on what I actually want to do, the whole day can come and pass. You'll just pass me by like this, and I won't even achieve anything. But if I'm able to sit down in the morning and write what I want to achieve in a day, if I have like weekly goals, and if I have daily goals are really good. If you tell yourself, okay, what do I want to achieve today? So have your daily goals, and not just have your daily goals. Make sure that you prioritize them, because especially when you're working from home and when you have kids, sometimes you might not get around to doing the 20 things you set out to do in a day. You might not get around to doing maybe the 5 things. But if you write down everything you need to do in a day, then what you need to do is to pick at least 3 or 4. Just pick a few that you say, you know what, even if I don't get to do all these things on this list, I'm going to ensure that I do these 3 no matter what. What I think I have like stickers. I have pink, I have green, I have yellow. So you can actually do something like this. Maybe you can get red stickers. These ones are the must do. Then you can have other colors that maybe I might do this, but these ones that are pink, these ones that are red, they are the activities that I must do. Those are the ones that you prioritize. That's really going to help you. So that's my second tip, guys. And if you're getting any kind of value, please feel free to share. And if I'm making sense, please can I get yes or a 1 or something in the comment section, so that I know that I'm actually not blabbing. So the third tip that I put down was you have to have great time allocation skills. This is so important. You have to have great time allocation skills. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is basically, when you're home, there is so much you need to do. I'll give you an example. My kids, I just brought them back from school now. So I have a couple of things waiting for me to do downstairs, But I said I was going to come up and do this quick Facebook Live video in order to share some of this information that I'm sharing with you now. So you have to have great time allocation skills, in the sense that time that you set aside to get an income producing activity done, or to get an activity in your business done, you have to maximize it. And what I mean by maximizing it, you have to make sure that you actually do the action steps that you need to do at that time. I'll give you another example. If you have a child, if you have a baby, if you have kids, something with kids, I have a little girl, and she's 15 months, about 15 months. So I know most times, Olana, I'm sure I've done a couple of Facebook lives, Olana is all over me. She doesn't even want me to talk. She's climbing my head, she's climbing my neck, she's pulling my top. I get distracted, So sometimes when I find out that she's sleeping and the boys are in school, I cherish that those 2 hours or 3 hours. So what I do personally is that I make sure that, you see, those hours, I try and cram as much as possible into those hours, in the sense that I forget, I don't spend that time scrolling through Facebook looking for who to say hi or hello to, or watching what someone else is doing. That's not the time to do that. That's the time to be extremely productive. That's the time when you should open your computer, send out that email to your list. That's the time you should flip out your phone. If you do Facebook lives, do your Facebook live. That's the time you should actually do stuff. If you put videos on YouTube, do a YouTube video. If you write blogs, create your blog posts. You know, that period when you have a little bit of sanity in your life, you have to use it very, very well. And something else that has also helped me, because it's not just all about building the business, you also have to take very good care of yourself. So you can wake up like an hour earlier or whatever it is, and if you do exercises, you can do some meditation, you do your prayers, and you get in, even if it's 15 minutes 15 minutes workout, whatever it is. Because what I have found out in the course of my journey is, when you feel good, you do good. This I got from someone, but it's very true. When you actually feel good, you do good. So that's my number 3 tip that I wrote down. The number 4 tip that I wrote down is, you have to be awesome at multitasking. You have to be great. Because one thing that I know, and I'm sure that you know, especially women are amazing at this. There is, right now, there's no I'm cooking, I can't do anything. No, as you're cooking, what are you listening to? Are you listening to personal development? Are you listening to Jim Rohn? Are you listening to Tony Robbins? Is there a training you're trying to catch up on? You have to multitask. Are you doing the laundry? What are you doing? You know, you can pop in your headphones and you're listening to something, you're listening to a wake-up call, you're listening to a podcast. Because I always emphasize on personal development, I always emphasize on mindset. And I know that you need to have it right up here. So those situations whereby you find yourself, not like when you're playing with your kids or when you're teaching them or anything like that. No, when you're doing something like you're cooking, you're prepping your meals, you're doing your laundry, you're cleaning, when you're doing stuff like that, you can actually multitask by listening to a good audio, by listening to some training, and by doing stuff that will develop you as a person and make you a better person and a better business person. So my 5th tip for you, and please guys, if you're getting any kind of value from this, don't hesitate to like, love, and feel free to share if you think someone else will get value from this. My 5th tip from you is that you always have to review. You know, at the end of the day, you have to sit down, you have to check everything you've done. You have to see what's working for you, and you review. Let me see how I say. Okay, you review, you tweak. And the reason why you're reviewing, you review it in the sense that, okay, this is what I have done. So you ask yourself, how did the week go? Was I as productive as I wanted to? Or maybe I should have done this way, or maybe I should have done this that way. Then if you see like gaps in between where maybe you should have done something, you can tweak it. Then in the process, after doing that, you can now plan for your week ahead. You know, maybe you can take out Sunday and say, you know what, I want to be clear on my next week. I don't want things to catch me unawares. So you can decide to, number 1, do your meal prep for the week. That helps a lot. Make sure that all the meals that the kids will eat and all the meals that you'll eat and your husband, everybody, that it's ready. Then what you can also do is, there are certain things that you can do in your business. If you write blogs, you can decide to use that day to do it. You know, it all depends on you and your business, but the whole idea is, try and plan your week. Whatever theme you have for the week, try and plan it so that when you're coming into the days of the week, you already have some sort of picture of or some sort of idea of what you want the week to look like. So it's not a time to start thinking, okay, what do I do? Because I'll tell you, and this is also from experience, thinking of what do I do on the day can cost you 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and you start wondering, where did the time go? So these are my 5 tips to being productive while working from home. I hope you've gotten value from this, and if you have, say value in the comment section, and please feel free to share.